How good is Necroveil? Honestly, it's shit. Thanks for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. I'm just kidding, but in all honesty, I really wanted this card to be good. I thought I could make clutch plays with it, maybe even make it into my own top 5. But seriously, it just isn't that good. At least not enough to warrant spending 6 card points. Before we go any further, let's look at Necroveil and see exactly how it works. Its unique passive says on player kill, enter the shadowplane for 3 seconds. Seems simple, right? Well, sort of. You would think that when you enter the shadowplane, if you dealt damage, you would exit the shadowplane, like you do with Kallari's Shadow Walk, or if you stood on a shadow pad. Well, with Necroveil, this doesn't happen. Once I discovered this, and yes, it took me a game or two to realize this, that you can actually deal damage and you won't exit the shadowplane, I thought to myself, shit, this could actually be OP. So I ventured out to try it on pretty much every corruption hero possible, except Kallari, cause well, Kallari. I tried it on grim.exe and I just felt that the 3 points could be spent better elsewhere. Like, yes, I might be able to kill someone, enter the shadow plane, and then kill someone else and repeat the process, but in reality this is not the case, at least it wasn't for me. I found myself getting kills but not really able to capitalize on the 3 seconds of invisibility. I mean, yeah, I picked off Murdoch easily and then Rampage was another easy kill, but what did Necroveil offer me in the situation that damage or attack speed cards wouldn't have? And this is something I constantly ask myself. It's easy to get kills and think Necroveil offered something towards it, but in reality it didn't. I'd have good games where we'd destroy the enemy team, but Necroveil was never the reason why, and so building more damage or attack speed just made more sense. I then thought, you know what, I could try this on Iggy, because I mean he relies on his turrets to do the majority of the damage, and so spending 6 points on Necroveil wouldn't set him that far back, and if you get a kill you could use Necroveil to escape or to re-engage, and maybe surprise them with its ultimate. In reality, this idea was crushed. Teamfights break out, but I found the only person getting most of the kills was the carry. I mean, if this card could be used on Murdoch, shit, it might actually be good. One of my favorite moments with Necroveil was when the enemy team were pushing our inhibitor. I'm on just 200 health, and with the help of the tower I take down Twin Blast. Murdoch starts shooting me, but luckily I entered the shadow plane thanks to Twin Blast dying, and I'm able to escape with 23 health. That's like one of the great things about Necroveil, but does the 6 point card warrant 10 seconds of gameplay? Probably not. Things weren't going too well for me at this point. I'd lost a ton of games trying to adjust my playstyle for Necroveil, trying to be aggressive, trying to be more passive, changing cards around, but nothing seemed to click. My friends then had the genius idea of using Gideon and combining it with his black hole, but of course this idea was trash. I mean, you might be invisible for 3 seconds, but it's pretty obvious where the center of the black hole is, and you can bet you're going to get stunned or killed while using it. Also, I found it ridiculously hard to get a kill and then teleport into my ultimate before I exited the shadow plane. Try doing all of that in 3 seconds and catching people in your ultimate, it's not that easy. I then tried Necroveil on Grux, that didn't work out too good, and yes, I know he's physical damage. I threw it into Richter and I thought those invisible pulls would be insane, but again it just didn't work. Richter doesn't have the damage for it. I was almost about done. I had spent 4 days working on Necroveil, trying to make it good, questioning whether I needed to adjust my playstyle. Maybe it was the build itself and not Necroveil. I felt I hadn't done you guys justice, so I thought I'd play one more game and give it everything I had. That game went surprisingly well. What I noticed was that being the only carry on my team meant that I was the highest priority target to the enemy team, but you can't focus what you can't see. My plan was to get the first kill in the team fight and then focus down their carries. It worked to some extent. I was able to pick off the enemy team without being under much of a threat myself, and I actually started to see hope for Necroveil, and in the end it changed my verdict slightly. The best hero for Necroveil in my opinion is of course Grim. You need to be picking up kills and not assists for this card to be worth anything. Grim being a ranger is a natural choice. He doesn't really have any escape, and so 3 seconds of invisibility will hopefully let you escape and hit travel mode. Necroveil is a fun card. You will have moments in the game where the card will help you pull off something magical, but you will also have times where you think you've just given too much up to have Necroveil in your deck. I didn't have any lifesteal, health or armor, and this frustrated me a little. It meant if I took damage in teamfights, I would almost always die if my team couldn't peel for me, or if I managed to survive, I would have to back rather than push an objective, which for me is just too punishing. So, the verdict. I'm actually still struggling to figure out if Necroveil is good enough. There were times where it showed huge potential and promise, and maybe I lacked the execution. On heroes other than carries, like I said before, you're unlikely to pick up enough kills every game to warrant Necroveil, and on carries you want to maximize your DPS, and so Necroveil is a no-no. I will say that being on the fence with this one, I highly encourage you to try this card out. If anything, it can actually be really fun to use. Entering the shadowplane only to see the enemy team confused by having no idea where you are gave me some satisfaction and entertainment in what can often be a long and grueling match, often lasting close to an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Let me know what you thought of the card in the comment section below, and until next time guys, peace.